I own Barber Custom Homes, and we do a lot of custom homes for individuals. My wife does the interior design work, and we just wanted to show people what we could do so that we could use this home almost like a model. We could bring our prospective clients here and they could see so many different things, and they could choose, pick and choose of things that they like, that they would want to do something similar to, or get ideas. And so that's what we did. We built a house that had a lot of ideas and a lot of unique custom features. When we decided to build here, we have been involved with Moss Creek Design in building other homes, and so I got with Alan with Moss Creek Design, and they do a great job with the exterior presentation and the curb appeal. This is an Adirondack style home where it looks like in the beginning maybe the main house was built, and then you've got another wing that was made out of a different material 50 years later, and then another 30 years after that they added another wing which was made out of a different material. So you've got all these different kinds of materials giving you texture and charm. You'll notice that the gables up on the front of the house have round log brackets, and then over the master bedroom area they're square cedar brackets, the same as over above the garage, square cedar brackets as well. And that just gives you a timetable where this was original and this was added later. The gable material is an antique cypress. It's a 70-year-old cypress that we imported from Pennsylvania. They have mushroom farms in Pennsylvania, and these boards made the drawers that held the mushrooms that they grew. And over the years it kind of etched out between the grain, and it gave it that rich look with an old look. We put antique timbers above the windows and used them between the windows to give a nice accent for an older established camp maybe that people went to in the 1800s. On the corners of the houses, of all the corners, they are red cedar trees that we had stripped and sanded down, and they're to look as if that tree is actually holding up the corner of that house. We also used them on the porch and in the back porch, and they're all eastern red cedars from Tennessee. We debarked them and put them up there. There's like 5 different kinds of siding on here. There's the board and batten, the stone, the antique cypress, and the shingles, and then of course the horizontal cedar siding on the garage. We also have copper roofs on the garage and on the porches here for accents. My wife and I really all this whole house came from the design of the kitchen. We started with the kitchen, and then from there we just made a basic layout of how we wanted the rooms, and she wanted a butler's pantry, so we put in a butler's pantry. But we teamed up with Moss Creek and together sat down, and I liked a lot of curved walls, so you're going to see a lot of curved walls in this home because that's unique. And you're going to see groin vaults in the master, and you're going to see curved arched ceilings and things like that that are unique. And we wanted a house that was unique. We wanted it to be a one-of-a-kind home where there's anything like it. And so there's a lot of features in here that you're going to see that it's very unique and one-of-a-kind. The house is about approximately 10,000 square feet heated, but it is about 15,000 square feet under roof if you count the porches and the garage. There's an apartment over the garage that's not quite finished, but it's about 1,050 square feet there. Has a home theater. It has a lot of game areas and a lot of areas where the house for entertaining. The house is really built to entertain. We have built so many fireplaces in so many homes. We wanted something that would be different, not just a standard straight up stone fireplace that went up to the ceiling. So we thought we'd make this asymmetrical, and you could see how it all steps in and out. And originally I wanted to put a mountain lion up here from stepping from the second to the third step and looking down at us, you know, like he's up in the mountains. I thought that would be a real good addition to a mountain type feel in our home. And, you know, we got with the German wood carver to come up with this this style, and a lot of this is his style, his drawings and all. And the fire screen was made for this fireplace by a blacksmith. He also did all the handrails upstairs and down the stairs, and it was all done hand forged on an anvil, and it took him 2 years to get all that finished. Also, all these little brass clips that they have on here to hold it together, that's what they used to do before they knew how to weld. And the pattern on the railings are similar to the Biltmore house. I think one of the most unique features of the house is the floor in the foyer. It's probably about 2 inches thick. It's stone that came from a building in Jerusalem that was torn down, and then it was that floor was saved, and it's probably hundreds, if not thousands, of years old. In some of the stones, you can see where it's real slick and smooth, and those stones were in the walking area, the paths, where the sandals had just worn down, and the others were, you know, they're more, you know, you can see where they've been hand chipped and all, so they're more rugged. We also, instead of having a metal vent or something on the stone floor, we went ahead and took one larger stone and cut the grill for the AC unit into that stone. Also, the wood floor, if you want to look at that, that is American cherry, and we laid it at a diagonal, so that would be more interesting when you come in. It's not lining up with, you know, front to back or side to side. It's at an angle. All the wood doors are 8 foot tall. They all are arched. They all were imported from Honduras, and we also have a leaf on them somewhere on the door in different areas of the door, which is a maple leaf that's hand carved into the door by the German wood carver. The chandelier up here is all red fallow deer antlers from Europe, and we had a company make that chandelier for the house. All these beams that you see in here, they were all, we had them shipped down from Canada, and they were from a German settlement in the 1840s, and they were used for a schoolhouse and a dairy farm, a dairy barn. And someone had taken that tree and taken an axe, which is a sideways looking axe, it's called an adze, and they cut that square out of that tree, and those the axe marks you see in the beams are the actual axe marks that pioneer had put in this 160 years ago. We designed the main room to be very open, and so that when you entertain, you had natural flow. And we've had 80 people here and didn't feel crowded. We have the dining room and the kitchen and the great room all open together with all the antique wood beams. And then right outside is the porch with a fireplace, so that when you open all that up, you have good circulation. You people can be outside, they can come inside, they can mill in the kitchen, or they can come over here and sit down and have a conversation in the great room. This is our dining area. We chose a round table so everybody could see each other without having to, when you're sitting down, you're not looking down one way or the other. We also have a rounded wall there, which we wanted to have a lot of openness because of the views. We have great views up here, almost 180-degree views, especially upstairs when you're looking. You can see from one side of the house to the other. It's all glass. This house is built for entertaining, and everybody usually when they come over ends up in the kitchen. And so we wanted the kitchen to be special, and it started off with, the whole house started off with this kitchen, and then we built out from there how we wanted to live.
Kitchens are kind of the favorite place in the house, and I think they ought to be very special and designed to the queen of the home. And we selected Rut for this kitchen being our model. One, because I love the function of a Rut cabinet. Two, because of the way that it's made. We have all hardwood boxes, all hardwood on the doors, 7 layers, each layer baked enamel, and has glazes. We selected 3 different finishes. You'll see that it has 2 islands with 2 different finishes. One is a box island, and then this is an open island so that you can sit and cut things up or just talk, eat breakfast bar, whatever. We did Thermador as our appliances. We have a drinking coffee morning station right here, which you can house anything that you need. It can stay open or closed. We did some open cabinetry here to give some dimension so that you could put some of your colored glasses, dishes, etc. up there, and your microwave. You have a trash pull-out over here. You have your coffee drawer here, which is right next to your drink station. You have your tea drawer over here when you're serving hot tea with your instant hot water right here at the sink. You have your full Pro Thermador refrigerator freezer here. We did an open cabinet up here just as a display. You come around here, you have your telephone station with your telephone drawer. We have full pull-outs for those different appliances that take a little bit more room. We did in this kitchen more drawers than doors, being that you can drop in your different pieces. You can drop in your frying pans. It's very easy to pull out. All your spices are handy right here as you're cooking or baking. Everything is broken into stations also. All of your cookware is going to be right below you where you're working in drawers of this nature here. Here's all your baking ware because this is your baking station here. You come around, you have all your cutlery. Your knives are all right here in a knife drawer. You have your Lazy Susan that works for all your mixing bowls and colanders. Then you can divide up all of your different utensils right here in these 4 drawers. Then you come to a double trash can over here. And one of the features that I love in this kitchen is you never can have enough dishwasher space. So between this kitchen and your butler's pantry, you have 3 of your highest end Bosch dishwashers, which also has a short 30-minute run so that you can get those salad plates washed and back out for your desserts. You have another tray cabinet here for all of your 9x12s and your serving trays. And then because you always have to run and get your pitchers and your beautiful glassware, your different glasses to use when you're entertaining, we put a full hutch into the kitchen with your cutlery, which is handy to go straight to the dining area, right to the bar, right next to your dishwasher. And there's also another one of these drawers right down here. So when you're baking, you can get your cutlery. Your napkins and pieces that you would need in setting your table, and then all the room you would need underneath the hutch for placemats or whatever else you might want to use. One of the most favorite things in this kitchen is this particular island for 2 reasons. One, the size of it. You can work 4 corners, you can work 2 sides depending on what you're doing, and never run out of space. An interesting thing, we mentioned that we have 3 different finishes, cabinet finishes in this kitchen, is we have 3 different countertop finishes. And that's for interest and creativity and just to make this kitchen a fun kitchen to work in. On the perimeter cabinets, we have a polished granite. On this cabinet, we did a solid honed Ubatuba black. But what makes it interesting is We laminated it doing a waterfall edge, and then we have a very special effect on the top, which is a rippled effect, and that was accomplished by much detail with my fabricator, who is excellent. But that's kind of a fun thing in this kitchen that we do. And then we have our wood countertop. This is Sequoia mahogany, and then we did it in distressed, which we had done in Atlanta and then brought up here. So that way you look like you're eating on a nice table when you do eat there. But I've never protected this. You can put water on it, food on it, anything you want. You don't have to worry about this wood. And then in our cabinetry, there again, you've got your baking drawers, because you are doing your baking right here and right on this corner adjacent to the drawers over here. And this is your salad prep area with 2 U-line refrigerator drawers, which are just wonderful to put everything you need in it. You can even do like all your drinks are in here so that the kids can get their bottled drinks, but you can separate from the main refrigerator. And you have your outlets, and then when you come over to this side, because this is your cooking area, and you'll have your warming drawer right here. These are your drawers for all of your pots and pans right here. So you just open them, you lift them out, you put them on your stove, you put them back. So much easier than bending down, opening drawers. You have less motion here. One action opens a drawer. To open doors, you've actually got one action here, and then either you're pulling out your shelf, or you're bending down, digging back for that pot that's in the very back. This way you have full extension with Blum railings that will automatically close with no matter what weight you put in there. Something everyone seems to enjoy about this kitchen is your spice racks. And you can see we live in this kitchen. We entertain in this kitchen. It's used quite a bit daily. But you just reach and grab whatever you need for your baking, for your cooking, for whatever you're doing. It's all full extensions here. And like I said, never a problem with the drawer pulls here by Blum. Rut uses top quality in everything that they do in building their cabinets. You can even get dividers to go in here, but you can access everything very conveniently here. Something else that we wanted to use in our kitchens, do this in almost all of our kitchens, and that is the pot warmer. And let me just show you how that works, because it's so much fun. And our son is a spaghetti lover, so he's constantly using this. But just to fill up your pots, turn it off. You've got something cooking, you need to add a little bit more water, just turn it on. And so that is always a fun thing in a kitchen, and very inexpensively to add, I might say. We did a little shelf here for the gourmet cook that wants to use lots of different oils, maybe different spices, to give a display. The Thermador cooktop also has 2 slow burners. You put it on extra low, and it keeps it at a certain temperature so that you can actually leave something simmering for hours at a time and not worry about it, come into a low boil and scorching. So that's one of the reasons I really like Thermador. When this kitchen came into thought, actually, I had first seen a picture of a vaulted kitchen, and Bill started talking about building up here in the mountains, and I thought, this would be awesome. This would just give us that majestic look that only the mountains offers. And so Bill gets all the credit for the fabulous beams. He's wonderful in that area. He did all of that. I wanted to overlook into the kitchen, and so that's where the overlooks came from. And I worked very closely with a friend in Atlanta, Patty Danzig, and we just came up, I think, with the greatest ideas for this kitchen. Walker Zanger is a favorite of mine for their tile. They always have first quality, and that's where all the tumbled marble came from, and the little brass tacks that are in here. My granite was Walker Zanger, and I just love what they have to offer. I love working with them. All the accessories in the kitchen, you'll see pieces like this, are all sized for this kitchen and for the size of the home. It's scaled properly for the size of the walls and for the height of the ceiling. We did the same thing when we went to do the chandeliers. These were custom done chandeliers in Texas and then shipped in to go in this kitchen. The candles that are on each chandelier are natural wax. So when we first lit them up, everybody was like, panicking because the candles started melting, and it was kind of humorous because I'm like, it's supposed to do that, and I says, watch what happens. So it gets to a certain meltdown. If you get a close-up of that, if they get to a certain meltdown, and then they stop. But they are a natural wax, and so you get the natural look of the candles going down. And I think they complemented the fabulous ironwork that our blacksmith did upstairs to overlook. And we will actually have fabulous shutters that will close up there to give the guest master privacy, and then in the mornings they can open it as they smell the aroma of breakfast cooking. So it was just kind of a fun thing to do. It was more than just a kitchen. It became a gathering room, because this is where, no matter how large of a party or how small of a family get together you might have, everybody ends up in the kitchen. It gave relief to the cabinets here, and at first this piece wasn't even here. It was a flat wall, right. And there was going to be like a design and all this stuff. And one night I was sitting there thinking, I don't like that. That's not really what I want. And so we came back and put the plate rack in here and dropped it back a few inches, and I think it softened the whole wall. I think that's a whole feature of color, where before, what color would have been there? It would have just been so washed out. But those are the things that are interesting when you have someone doing a design kitchen for what you like. This is the butler's pantry, which is running parallel to the kitchen, and this is an extremely fun room also, because you can leave your china on display all year long. You've got 2 sets of china here and your Christmas china right here, so people can enjoy it all year long. You have your private pieces back here that you may not want to have on display. Same over here, over the sink. And another nice thing, you have a nice size sink here that you could have someone washing china or crystal while the party's going on here. There again, here's your 3rd Bosch dishwasher with a short wash also. Plenty of storage for all those serving pieces that you just reach in here and grab out, and you know where everything is because it's all spread out. It's not all condensed into one kitchen. You have all of your storage under here of your different shelving for different pieces that you have, and all the counter space that you could use. You could even run a buffet through here as they circle through the kitchen, come through the butler's pantry, and then out into the dining area. A good feature that I love in here that Bill did was you have, I think it's about 12 or 16-inch thick walls right here with paneling going all around the arch, just to create a separate room and make this have its own special identity. Here again, we did the granite countertops. I showed a granite backsplash right here instead of doing a tile, just to keep this a little calmer in here and not to break up our materials, and just to show how nice a granite backsplash can look.
We enjoyed the beams so much, we put them in the master bedroom, so when you're in bed you could look up and enjoy the beams. And the fireplace, we did a little inset there for a picture if you wanted to put a picture, or just to give it some variety. Also, it's a very unique thing. We haven't done this a lot before, but laying in bed, the firebox is usually down here on the hearth, and we raise the firebox up so that the fire can be up above your feet when you're in bed. You could enjoy the fire better. The floor in our master bathroom is actually from Jerusalem. It's Jerusalem stone, but it's been just quarried. And it's got that yellow look to it, textures. Also, the design in here is to be made to look like a rug, but it's a tile rug, so to speak. And then the other fun feature that we did was we put these groin vaults in, and it's all solid wood behind all that, but it's intersecting arches, very European. But it makes a lot of interest in the bathroom, makes the bathroom a special place to come to. We also have a 2-person shower, and the shower is also a steam bath. And all the fixtures in the master is waterworks. All the countertops, not only in the master but throughout the house, are all natural stone. We made the walk-through shower so that when you're walking down the hall, you can actually see the bathtub, and it lets light in from down the hall. It also gives you a view that we wouldn't have had before. And it's nice because in the shower you can get in from either side. Another real nice feature, and maybe I need to walk over here to show you, is we've been doing this for years as a builder, but we always put the receptacles in the back of the drawers. And that way, if you have a hair dryer, you can use the hair dryer and put it back in and never have to worry about plugging and unplugging. All the floors in the whole first floor, and we did this for the bathrooms primarily, but the whole floor is heated by tubes of water, radiant floor heat. So it's so nice because in the winter when it's really cold and you go sit on the toilet, well, it's warm because everything, the furniture and everything becomes a radiator when you have radiant floor heat. This is a room that we designed as our study, and we wanted to make it special, so we had a company come in from Atlanta, and it was actually all this paneled wood and everything was built from within this room. The raw wood was brought in, it was planed, sanded down, and then all these raised panels were made here in the room so that we could get the right proportion. This is all pine, and it is not stained or polyurethaned, it's waxed. And the raw wood was waxed from a wax that came from England, an old wax, and it left a great finish. And it enriched the wood, and you could still see all the knots and the different tones in the wood. Instead of having another stacked stone fireplace, we wanted to have more of a limestone look. So this is called Scaglia stone, and it's a little more of a formal look.
This bathroom actually derived from a French picture, and I love the idea of a single carved stone, and so we looked across the states and found someone in New Mexico that was willing to do exactly what we wanted done. And so they started with a block, a mortuary block of marble, and they carved out the sink, polished it out, and you'll see in the front it does a chipped front, and had it freighted here, and then he sent me a slab, and I had a wonderful tile installer, and we cut the slab and actually built that on site as we did it, and that was so much fun. Then ran to Walker Zanger in Atlanta there again and did our glass tiles framed in our mirror, and I think it just turned out fabulous. We even brought in a fixture from France, and to just give it that final French look.
This is the downstairs gathering room where you can come down and just have a intimate conversation with somebody, or you could bring your tea or coffee or something like that. And we'll entertain down here with it. We have a kitchenette over there with a William O cabinetry and the stone tops. And one of the things I wanted to do is vary the textures in the house. And you'll notice that the wood walls here are different than the rest of the house. And then we have a lot of stonework we brought in. The fireplace is a lot of stone, and it carries over into the kitchenette. And it gives a feeling of very solidness, and I just wanted the house to feel permanent. We thought it'd be a lot of fun to have a little dwarf house, so to speak, for kids to come and play. And it's really cute. You go in there, it's got a low ceiling, it's just their size, there's shelves over on the left, and it's chock full of toys. And they come in and they want to play, and they'll close the bottom door, and they'll want us to order hamburgers or whatever they're playing, store, they might be playing store or anything like that. So it was a lot of fun. And I tell you what, if you want the kids to be preoccupied, they just run down there and they stay in there for hours. This is the billiard room, and in here we decided to do a different type of wood. The bottom wainscoting is made from Pecky cypress, and the other wood, the border, is all regular cypress. Well, we have just ordered the panels that go in here. There'll be a blue suede with a deer scene. It's hard to describe, but that's going to be in each one of these panels as they go around. And also some, the table is not here yet. It's coming. We also have some deer heads that we're going to be hanging that are replicas that hang in Princess Diana's castle, Spencer Castle over in England. But we also have the flat screen TV, which is very nice because you can come down here and you can play pool, you can watch a football game or a baseball game or whatever while you're playing pool. So you can have people lounging around and people involved in a game, and it's a lot of fun.
This bathroom we called Rainforest because of the rainforest granite, and we had a blacksmithed piece on the bottom to look branchy and like trees to be outside, and then complemented it with the rainforest granite. Put a copper rolled sink as a vessel on the top with our Newport plumbing coming out of the wall. Because we didn't want to have splash water on the wall, we just duplicated the counter onto the backsplash, and then accented with the Laloon twig mirror and the Candela branch lighting. And then we went in and fauxed and glazed the walls to look more like a copper finish to bring out the copper sink a little bit more.
Here we are in the home theater, where we have tried to bring all the elements in the home into the home theater. We have the stacked stone, we have the peeled and sanded red cedar trees, and we have the antique timbers all implemented and together into this room. It's one of our favorite rooms. You can kick back in here and feel like you're really at the theater.